Hello, legends of Minecraft, and welcome to Atomic Dave Does Redstone. Today we're going to be building a couple of different types of flushing systems for mob farms. On the left of the screen, I am going to put the materials for the repeater clock, and on the right of screen, there is the hopper clock system. Behind me, you can see I've got two mock platforms set up, and let's go have a look at the basis of putting these together. The first clock we're going to have a look at is the redstone repeater clock. You can see here that we have a setup with a dispenser and a water bucket, an observer pointing down into it, and a tileable mob spawning platform. These are 7 by 7 on a diagonal from the observer, allowing that the water bucket will only flush to the edges and not over it. This can go up or down as many layers as you want. I would recommend very highly that before you put your final dispenser in place, which is the dispenser that is detecting the redstone current, that is when you want to put the water buckets in each of the dispensers. Until then, you can keep the platforms lit, and when you dispense that first load of water buckets, it will wash the torches off. And the reason being for that is when we put that final dispenser, that will activate the first observer and activate the water. This means that you are going to start in a state of the farm being off. So if you're activating an on-off switch into your farm, which is very highly recommended for multiplayer servers where it could potentially cause lag, you are able to eliminate that. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your bottom half slabs around the observer for 2 rows are able to have components put on top, and we want to put down 12 redstone repeaters. In this line, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 12 going back in the opposite direction. Once you've done that, you want to set each of their timings to the maximum level of 4 ticks. With that circuitry in place, the next thing that you're wanting to do is on one end, you will need to connect each line with 2 pieces of redstone, and on the opposite, which will be your activation end, you will need on your input line, which is the arrows heading down away from you, a comparator, and on next to it, a single piece of redstone. This will detect the signal being on or off, and we're going to want to put that in reverse so that it does whatever the opposite of this is once it has been powered. So it will send a line on all the way down and up again, and once this piece of redstone gets powered, this comparator will switch off, and each of those will tick down off. And this is a very basic comparator clock. The next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to run a line to power it. Now, this gives us an opportunity to put an on-off switch. If you do not require an on-off switch, simply putting a redstone torch to power it will do it, or a redstone block, any version of powering it will do the trick. But what we're going to do here is we're going to do a chain of torches. Now this can be put out as far as you like, but you may need a redstone repeater to make sure that that signal strength stays full. This will flash on for a second. We're going to send a single signal tick through. You will see once that tick comes over the observer here, this will flush off and on very, very briefly because it is not constantly powered. Once we have this constantly powered, by switching on our lever, we are going to see this clock in action. Now, once that clock reaches the observer, it's going to power that observer. Sorry, the dispenser. The observer has detected that being powered, and now we have an effective flushing system. Every time that moves around, we have either the water on or off, and it gives us a long enough period of time for mobs to spawn and then those mobs to then get pushed off by the water streams before it turns on and off. Extremely simple system. Generally, when your roof is going to be twice the size of this, it is not a space issue, and it is very easy and redstone friendly and resource friendly in general. The other option, which is if you want to create something more aesthetic and you require a little bit more space, a little bit less space, I should say, for the roof, would be the hopper clock. This is incredibly economical in space. all we need is a 4 long single, a V formation here. We are going to put a comparator facing out on those powering each of these blocks. We are then going to get a hopper. You'll need 2 hoppers facing into each other. They are going to swap materials between each other, which is going to power the comparators. Those comparators are then going to control redstone torches on these 2 blocks on either side, which in turn are powering sticky pistons. Those sticky pistons are going to act to push a block of redstone, locking one hopper or the other depending on which is feeding stuff out. We then want to put a block on top of the dispenser, which will get powered with a single redstone dust. And once we have put our material, our counter material in there, it is going to be what is controlling whether this flushing system is on or off. Right now we have it off, technically. The farm is inactive. But once this redstone block gets pushed over because this hopper has been emptied, it will turn the system back on and we will be able to spawn mobs. Any second now, there we go, and that is draining away and it is a mob spawnable location. The one thing left to do now is work out which hopper needs to be locked so that this platform is flooded when we need it to be. And quite simply, all we need to do that is run a redstone line into this hopper so that it locks the hopper. And now this hopper is unable to drain its contents. This hopper is unable to drain its contents because this particular redstone block is powering here. This redstone signal is powering here. They are both locked and we are in a state of off. We can switch that back on. It will slowly tick down, and once the comparator detects that the hopper is empty, it will power this sticky piston and it will begin the process of the clock. So there we go. We have 2 different flushing systems. This particular one is extendable, has an extendable signal by adding more repeaters. This has an extendable signal by adding more items into the hopper. But both are very effective depending on what you need. If you are not too worried about having the space required to have the long repeaters chain, you can go with this system. If you're wanting something more compact, you can go with this system. And that is everything for today as the sun sets on this Minecraft world. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have been able to get the information that you need, and I will see you on the next one.